started playing because I enjoyed it. I could go with my parents on the weekends to the tennis club that they were members of. My parents had asked me if I should or wanted to join the National Tennis Center, and I was like, no, I love being in Basel. I have everything I need here. I have a great coach. And then the Swiss Nationals came around, and I had an interview I did for the Swiss Tennis magazine, and somebody asked me if I could imagine, going to join the federation and play there and go live there full time. And I'm like, well, yeah, actually I could. My parents read the piece and they're like, but you told us like 6 months ago you're not interested. And I'm like, well, I guess I've changed my opinion. So they're like, okay, well, let's look at it then. Like, what's the positive if you go there, and what's the negative to go there? And we put it all in the mix, and to me, it seemed like there was more positives than negatives. And if my dream was really to become a professional tennis player, maybe I felt I should do it, even though I had a great setup in Basel at home. And then when I went, it was very exciting, scary in some ways, because I was only 14 years old, and I was in a foster family from Monday to Fridays, and only came home on the weekends. And I remember, crying on the train on Sunday night at 6 o'clock when I had to go to Blanc, and I knew I was not going to see my family for 5 days, and then I came back on Friday. I was so happy finally when I could leave again. So the first 6 months were pretty brutal, actually. I think I was able to play the way I play today because of my fitness, because of my physical efforts I've put into it. And I could not believe the balls I would be able to catch, on the court through fitness. And I feel like that connected everything. The moment I became physically strong, I would get to balls I didn't know I could get to. And then with my talent and my hand-eye coordination and my technique, I was able to pull off shots I never thought I could. And I think this is when it got really a lot of fun for me. That's when tennis went into overdrive, I believe. So, and then did I ever really try to play nice tennis, good-looking tennis? I don't think so. I think it just kind of happened, and I tried to look how did Sampras serve, how did Edberg volley, but I always told myself I cannot copy them, because that's what made them so unique. So if you copy them, you probably won't be as good as them, because that came natural for them. So you have to find your own identity and do it your way. But you can look at them, what they did so good, and maybe use that for your technique or for your game. And I think I did that very well. I thought it was somewhat hard to actually get to world number one. I mean, it is very hard, of course, but I was very close, and I was very nervous getting there. And when I realized that I was close and maybe never going to become world number one, I started to stress out. So for me, the time of getting to world number one was quite stressful, to be honest. And once I got to world number one, I actually started to relax, because I felt, you know what, I've achieved almost everything I ever wanted, and now I have a choice. Do I want to stay there, or was I just happy to be there once? And I decided I would like to stay there, so I worked extremely hard and tried to beat everybody and just have that mental determination and become just a different player, actually. And I really enjoyed being at the top. I definitely think the younger generation has pushed me to work hard, but I think I was doing that anyway, regardless of who was coming along. I always questioned myself in the best of times, even when I was world number one for many weeks and months in a row. At certain times during the year, I said, what can I improve? What do I need to change? Because if you don't do anything, or you just do the same thing over and over again, you stay the same. And staying the same means going backwards, because the other guys are working hard and improving. So I always needed to find ways to improve my game as well. I just think it's nice to get along, Maybe in the past, people always felt, top guys are not supposed to get along, because they actually are supposed to beat each other and not like each other to play their best. But I think I was able to see it differently, that, through respect and fair play,
Roger
no
Federer,
problem, you can also dominate and play well. And I think that maybe has trickled down to, let's say, Rafa, for instance, as well, that he also takes the same approach, that he says, very respectful, but very aggressive on the tennis court, but always according to the rules. I can play great tennis, and I think it's wonderful now that if the two guys at the very top have this kind of a relationship, that can also speak volumes down in the lower rankings, where they are very hungry as well to break through and come forward. In any aspect of
of your life, if it's in business or in your life, you know, to have a good team, good friends around you is key. To be able to pick the right ones is another quality I think, you know, leaders tend to have. For me, always harmony in the team has been very important, but also people who can challenge me, you know, who can tell me, what do you think you should change this? We have an idea for you, a solution maybe to problems. And I'm very happy if they tell me that if they do see a problem or they think that I can still improve. It's important for me to actually hear criticism sometimes, you know, because I think that's what makes me a better player. And that means someone's questioning me who really cares about me. I think I've done actually quite well over the years, considering always having a team around me for the last 12 years.